Anyway, just moving on to that before we start having a slinging match about men and women's bowls. One new development during the winter months was the British Ground Green opened their doors slightly and formed a sub-development committee, a group of people, including myself and the likes of Jimmy Parker, Gary Ellis, Andy Cairns and so on, Graham Wilson, Mandy Paget, to look at any ideas to put through the governing body which may improve the sport. This, I think, is a positive move, and one person who has got involved in that as part of the committee is Wayne Curran, and I think Wayne's on the line at the moment. Are you there, Wayne?
Yeah, good evening, Mel. How are you?
I'm all right, Wayne.
Good man.
I know you haven't attended any of the meetings yet, but you've done some input and seen how the system is working. What's your take on it? You're one of the newer members of the committee.
Well, initially, Mel, I was flabbergasted to be asked to be invited onto this development committee, when, especially with the names you've already mentioned, legends of the game, effectively, and then to be asked to be involved in that, I initially agreed, not a problem, would love to be involved. Then in the cold light of day, I realised there'd be a lot of travelling, going up the M6, going up the motorway. I've got major issues, obviously, as you know, going on the motorway. So in the end, I ended up effectively resigning before I'd even started. Then such was the feedback I got from all the members, saying that they'd still like me part of the committee, by phone call or email. I was overwhelmed, to be fair, and it can work, actually. It can work, the fact that we can communicate on the email and phone calls and everything. And I have been involved, as you've said, a lot of good work's been done by the committee, which I was involved in, with getting the British Team Championship back on track, or Earlham, or I know we can't talk about most of the detail, but it's an amazing thing that's been set up by people that probably would be classed as, they're just people who want to bowl for themselves and not put anything back, whereas it's proved that these guys are real big names in the sport, and they are prepared to put something back. It's just whether we can get it through to the BCGBA, but with Pat Crowther as the interface, I think we've got a great chance.
Yeah. It's good to see that the governing body of any sports, they take a bit of flack, and not least of all the British Ground Green. But it's good to see that they've opened the doors and are prepared to at least consider people's opinions, isn't it, Wayne?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, us in the Warwick and Worcester, I mean, most of the management committee are people that probably wouldn't be known nationwide, and probably play down the division. So in our association, we're often critical of people who probably haven't got their finger on the pulse or whatever. But when you get into the nitty-gritties, these people, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have an association, and we've got to appreciate that. And these people as well are open to these effective changes from another section of the bowling community, and it's fantastic that they have opened the doors, and that we are going to hopefully get somewhere. I suppose the proof of the pudding will be whether we do get anywhere. I know Graham attended a meeting the other week as an observer at the BCGBA. I haven't had any feedback yet to see how that went down. Have you, Mel?
No, not yet. No, we're getting the minutes out. So I mean, it seems that Messrs Ellis and Cairns have took over the roles of secretary, and they're doing a fine job with the emails we've all been receiving, aren't they, Wayne?
Yeah, without a doubt. They're very educated, which it's been great so far, Mel. I've been really pleased to be part of it all, and hopefully we can make progress on the things that we've discussed so far.
Yeah, there's a couple of points that come on the screen saying that the development committee is a good idea, and also Steve Davis, who we had on the programme earlier, as you know, is a member of the management, and he said that Graham Wilson really enjoyed his visit to the British Ground Green. It's good for people like us on the committee to go behind the closed doors and see how things operate, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, like you said already, you know, the three biggest names, probably, without trying to upset anyone, if they're listening, in bowls are Andy Cairns, Gary Ellis, and Graham Wilson. and to have them involved in this and to be part of it and to want to move the game forward, it can only be a good thing now.
Yeah. I mean, I was delighted myself to be asked to approach to go on it, and not everyone has to realise that the people are also doing it in their own time, putting themselves out, and none of us would accept any money, any expenses or anything. We just all want to try to come along with ideas that might just improve the profile of the game in some way.
Without a doubt, that's exactly everybody's brief, and I understand that I was probably asked as somebody with a clubman hat. I know we've got a wide section. We've got people in administration. We've got Mandy covering it from a lady's point of view. The competition bowlers, the organisers. So we've really got a good cross section to feed back into every single aspect, grassroots and everything from the bowling community. It's not just a snapshot of a competition bowler or an administrative point of view. It's got everyone in it, so it's not just going to look at one angle of the game, it's going to look at every angle of the game, and there's going to be lots of feedback from all different sorts of people, which is fantastic, really.
I mean, Mike Holden should put a comment on, and I agree with what he said. We can discuss things all you want, but you've got to get past the British Crown Green, which in some cases may be unlikely. But I will say the initiative has been led by the British Crown Green. It wasn't as if we approached them; it came from them. And I must admit, with Pat and John's attended some meetings as well, they have really taken on board some of the points that we've made. Yes, we've got to get certain things possibly voted in, but even some of the minor points, which we can't discuss on air, obviously, look very promising, don't they, Wayne?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I obviously wasn't asked on board until after the first meeting, and when I received the minutes, well, not the minutes, but what was discussed at the first meeting, it was fantastic to see the sort of things that were being discussed, and obviously in time they'll become live. So, when I saw all the things that had been discussed, it is really going to push the game to the next level, make it a lot more professional, and so we should be, we are a professional sport, it's well run, but I just don't think we publicise ourselves enough and give ourselves enough good press.